Hello guys, Reverend here, and I'm going to read to you, surprise! Okay, another book I found in the street. I was thinking it's so cool here in Port Townsend, Washington, because there's always books just falling from the sky. Okay, well, it's one bookstore in particular that always has free books out, but I've been so many places, and it's like it's so hard to find spiritual books or organic books or books on healing, and here they're just, free. There's so many organics, there's so many, there's music, there's just so many cool things here that just are really reminding of what's wholesome and what's real to me. So many people seem to be craving. They are craving a spiritual depth. They're craving something deeper in their life, and they just kind of just seem to be just tolerating life, sleeping late, waiting for change, and there's something missing that they're really craving, and it's a couple of things. First of all, a connection with the Holy Spirit, whatever that is to you, and also an accepting in your role. You were given a certain role, whether it be a farmer, a businessman, a reader, a writer, a mother, a father, whatever role you were given, play that role well. If you want something different in your life, let that be known to Spirit and move towards changing that. But also be content in the role that you were given. You know what your role is because you feel happy and you feel high when you're doing it. Okay? And there's so many people out there doing jobs they hate. Work has been reinvented for so long. I mean, Google a 4-hour work week. There's so many ways to make money online. There's tons of ways in Amazon. You can load books, you can take a couple $1,000s and buy some sort of product wholesale and sell it retail and keep it in their warehouse. You can write books online. You can do bid projects online where you're doing something in your expertise. There's so many things you can do to make a living, but if you're forcing yourself to go out on these busy freeways and to live a life that you don't want to live, and you're blaming that, well, you just have no way out of it, and you're complaining about it, well, Spirit's going to give you a way out, which is usually some sort of illness or health problem. Anyway, it's not what this video is about. Okay, so lots of books all the time. This one's called Celebrate the Earth, A Year of Holidays in the Pagan Tradition. Lori Cabot, C-A-B-O-T. And I'm not going to read you the whole book, of course. I'm not going to read you the actual holidays. I'm just going to read you a little bit of the beginning, because I really like what she says kind of in the introduction. It says, "As I have seen the world through witches' eyes, I have been fortunate enough to live each moment of my life with the knowledge and deep feeling that the globe I walk upon feels my steps, hears my voice, and answers in return." We've gotten away from Mother Earth. We tend to think of Mother Earth as being just a product for us to use, and many people do that in the name of God. They act like that the earth was given to us to use, and so therefore that's what we're going to do. They just take a spot and use it all up. Okay, so they got the tree, they got the soil, they got the coal, they got the oil, they go all the way to the center of the earth, use it all up. Okay, and how long does it take to come back? That's not the point. The point of using, you don't take the whole, all the animals, you don't take all of the certain types of plants, you let things go to seed. You have to be we have to nurture Mother Earth. We can't just kill her and just, the way people interpret, I heard somebody today just talking about the Bible, and that God gave us the earth and the things upon the earth to take care of us. They were talking about it in terms of, against the environment, really. Like we have a right to pollute the waters and dig these big craters and dust bowls and do chemicals and do whatever we want because the earth is there for us. But that's not the point. Every disease that we have, every need that we have can be fulfilled by Mother Earth, by some plant, We live in a world where herbs are illegal. People, go to jail for trying to cure their kids of cancer. Cancer's been healable alternatively since the beginning of time. The Indians had cancer. There's an herb for every disease. Okay, but because it's big industry, so we got oil, we got cancer, we got two of the biggies. All of these things that contribute to greed, and these things that take away Mother Earth and torture people and take away people's quality of life, that they all make big money. And people think, we need that money, we need those jobs. No, we don't. They create money out of thin air to start wars, to do whatever they need to do. I don't know if it's Switzerland or wherever, where people just get money every week. If you just had money every week coming from wherever, and you could do whatever you want every day with your life, what would you be doing? They say, well, we're creating jobs. These people that own the mills, or they own like a pellet mill or a lumber mill, or some of the coal mines and some of the paper mills, they get these grants, right? And then they start jobs. And then you guys are all like, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm so happy because we got a job. And then you get toxins in your lungs, gets filled with goo, and all this stuff starts happening. And the thing is that instead of the timber owner, for example, instead of the mill owner getting the money could have just went to you. Okay? So it's just a ruse. And I have, I have a degree in forestry, and so I seen in that industry how it was the timber baron got all this land for free. And now all these land trades, and they made these deals where they had timber sales, but they pretended, right? So different ones would bid on it, so they'd get it for a low price. And they played all these games, and basically they just put the loggers against the environmentalists, when really it was the timber companies and the greed, and it was an illusion, right? All of the land, if they'd just give each one of these pieces of land to the different families that worked at the mill, those families could have stewarded the lands and not just, took every single tree and done what was done to it, and then later it was turned into development property, and then the mill owner made money, and then it's all just kind of an illusion. And so people think that they have to have these jobs, but you can have money and have a life without a job that destroys Mother Earth. And to me, this Wiccan, pagan, is about the earth. It's about herbs, it's about natural healing, it's about goodness and nature. And if you don't have a spiritual connection, then you're kind of just empty. And I know so many people who just are so, they love God and they love Jesus and they're really into the Bible, but they don't seem to love God's creation. And they don't seem to take care of Mother Earth, and they don't take care of each other if they don't approve of you. And they tend to use their doctrine or the Bible in ways of harming and judging and killing and torturing other people. And that's not Christ-like. That's not the example that Christ was. And there was many that were like Christ, such as Buddha and was it Odin, and on different continents there was the same legends. I mean, Christ is just, a myth, really. It's about an example of who you can be. Anyway, another tangent, but look at Jesus and the Lost Goddess, Jesus and the Jesus mysteries, and really study the history of this stuff, and you understand that we've kind of gotten lost to the meaning of what spirituality is and what connection is. And if we don't mind polluting a river, and we don't mind taking every single tree, and sound pollution and electronic warfare and chemtrails and government conspiracies and war and killing, and if we don't mind all of this, okay, if that's the way you choose to live, but I'll tell you what, it's certainly nothing to do with the Holy Bible. It's nothing to do with the Holy Spirit. There's nothing holy in it at all. So, I'm going to read this part that I read to you again, because I just love it. As I have seen the world through witches' eyes, I have been fortunate enough to live each moment of my life with the knowledge and deep feeling that the globe I walk upon feels my steps, hears my voice, and answers in return. As a child, I felt able to converse with the world about her joy and pleasure. Upon my initiation as a witch at the age of 16, I experienced an immediate intimacy with the earth, moon, and stars. This awakening became reality. Every dance I danced, every childlike chase, every handful of flowers was a bonding of my heart and spirit with my mother, the earth. In the vastness of our universe, seemingly unknowable and even hostile, our human voices sometimes seem small and insignificant. Our spirits cry out for something more, some connection which will prove that we matter, that we exist. In my experience as a witch, I can assure you that the universe and particularly our own planet, Mother Earth, is knowable to a great extent and not hostile to those willing to listen honestly to her song. Have you seen that movie, Song of a New Earth? Check that out. That reminded me of that. The most extraordinary relationship that exists in creation is the bond between a mother and her child. We each sense this instinctively when we are born. But I recently had an experience that impressed upon me just how poignant and profound this relationship can be. I had no forewarning that evening about what was soon to take place when a woman, a complete stranger, walked into my daughter's shop, where I received my clients. She was an attractive, well-dressed woman in her mid to late 40s, but she was visibly upset when I looked up into her eyes to greet her. She came to me seeking peace and answers to questions about her dead son. Her only child, her teenage son, had been killed in an auto accident about 1 month before. They had been very close. She said at times more like friends than mother and son. She couldn't accept his death, that he was gone from her life. She felt bereft and lost. She told me she knew nothing about the ways of witchcraft, but that her son had taken an interest in magic and used to read lots of books on the subject. Not knowing which way to turn, she at last decided to come to me. She desperately wanted to know if her son was all right. My heart went out to her. I was deeply moved by her story. My emotions were immediately engaged, and I wanted to comfort her. At the same time, doubts arose within me about my ability to bring her some measure of peace. For I realized that at once how distraught she was. I took a moment to reach inside myself for strength. I decided to approach her psychic reading just as I approach all of my other counselings. I tried to put her at ease. She seemed to relax and I began to read her cards. Nothing could have prepared me for what happened next. I was well into my reading when I lifted my eyes from the tarot and saw the figure of a young man standing just over her shoulder. I sensed that this was the essence of her beloved son. So as to not disturb the rapport I had with the mother, I suppressed my sudden feelings of surprise and wonder. I had not expected this. I quickly decided to prepare her for the message her son was attempting to send her through me by explaining my beliefs as a witch about death or the afterlife. Gently, I told her that the choices for departed spirits are 3. They can cross over into the other world, a magical but very real place we call Summerland, or they can choose to stay forever. This is the land of milk and honey, peopled with our gods and goddesses and fairy kings and queens. The second choice is to be reincarnated and return to Earth in another capacity of service of the great goddess, our own Mother Earth. The third choice is to remain on the earthly plane as a ghost until deciding either to cross over into Summerland or be reincarnated. I told her that her son, for the time being, had comfortably chosen to be a ghost. Then I continued to say, as gently as I could, so as to not frighten her, that he was standing right next to her at this very moment. The woman was startled, then skeptical. As she tried to accept what I was saying, she quite naturally asked for some proof that he was there. She needed to know. She needed reassurance. I tried to give it to her by describing in detail what I saw and heard. I said, he wants you to know that he's fine and not to worry about him, and he also wants you to know that this is the most prized possession, that this is his most prized possession. With 2 hands, the boy proudly displayed before me a beautiful long sword that looked as if it were from the Civil War. The woman gasped. We buried him with his great-grandfather's sword. Her son smiled, then told me to tell her that being a ghost felt a little like being the Highlander, a character in a movie of the same name. He said, I feel like the Highlander because I know I'm going to live forever. Again, the woman gasped. The Highlander was the last movie they saw together. The young man asked more to reassure his mother that he was going to wait for her until the time came for her to cross over, and then together they would go to Summerland. In the meantime, he said, "Know that I am happy." Folks, if you don't fear death and you understand death, then what is it that there's left to fear? What is it that we wouldn't actually live? You know, to me, when I get down, it's because I'm not living. It's because I'm, I'm like, well, I don't know what to do, or I want more. It's not that I want less. You know, when you're stuck in a life that you don't want, just do a good job of it, like I was saying earlier. But at the same time, just, there is no death, folks. There just is no death. Anyway. As a witch or walker between worlds, a term that is often used to describe witches, I felt it a particular privilege to share in so vivid and meaningful of an experience. The vision and my revelations offered to this distraught mother brought some semblance of peace to the woman, and also served to reinforce my heartfelt conviction that there is nothing stronger than the love relationship between a mother and her children. I offer this story as a metaphor for the bond we share with our mother, the earth. That bond is all-encompassing, always renewable, life-sustaining, emotionally and physically satisfying, meeting all our needs and answering all our questions. And yet it must be a reciprocal relationship in order for both Mother Earth and the human race to survive. Goddess Gaia is our mother. Mother Earth feeds us, nourishes us. Why do so many seem to have no problem at all with pollution and the things that harm Mother Earth and all of the beautiful animals, and they just seem to look at it as just their right to just do as they please and pave everything and oil everywhere and chaos and buildings and it just love your mother. If you don't know what to do, help Mother Earth, just talk to her. Ask your guides and angels to help you. With Celebrate the Earth, which is the name of this book, I hope to demonstrate and offer to you the methods by which every human being can honor the earth and play a part in the healing that must continue to take place. I believe that the devastation of our planet in many cases is due not so much to negligence as to impersonality. We think of Earth as something apart from us, as a separate entity, which exists on its own and will exist forever. It is my hope to awaken in you the notion that when one organism suffers, we all do. Each of us can make a different contribution to Earth's well-being and come away with something deeply personal and of great importance. For the healing of Mother Earth is also a process of self-discovery. When I became a witch, I began to see people more as individuals and to realize how valuable it is to develop each individual's talents and gifts, whether it be the simple ability to communicate with others or the more complete ability to communicate physically with other worlds. The mental projections and actions of every man, woman, and child on the planet combine to create the world in which we live. And yet many of us do not see or understand the magical power each of us holds. We are not aware of how strongly connected we are to the whole. We do not see ourselves as children of Mother Earth and do not realize just how close to our mother we are. It is this vital partnership that Mother Earth needs right now. Celebrate the Earth, a year of holidays in the pagan tradition. Lori Cabot. And the great goddess oftentimes gives me messages through free books. And tonight I got quite a few. I probably got 20 books. And all on topics of, organic foods and pagan and goddess and healing. And they're just there. And I am very, very grateful. And I will be reading this whole book. And if you come to the Bringing Back Goddess Church, you can check this book out too. All right, well, thanks for listening, and just play your part well, and just be content, be at peace. Don't worry. Don't worry about death. Don't fear your loved ones that have died. it's all good, it's all beautiful, it's all wonderful, and just be at peace and enjoy it the best you can. And when human emotions come up, and we just keep moving through. What would it take? What's it going to take? Strengthen your immune system. Walk. Oftentimes getting nutrients in and toxins out is huge to our well-being, because when our human vehicle gets clogged, we can't think of what we came here to do spiritually, and we just don't feel joy and happy. So find a way to get in touch with Mother Earth. And for those of you who do judge the pagan, Wiccan stuff, understand that it is about Mother Earth, it is about Goddess, it is about love, it is about healing and herbs and fire and water and clean air and soil and rich dirt and plants, and just, it is about Mother Earth, and it is beautiful. And it is also about walking between worlds. It's kind of a forever Summerland. God bless you all.